How's it going, everybody? I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. This will be a challenge. We might have to move locations. Tell me if you can hear me. But it's a busy bar. And we'll get the sound working. Checking in anyway. Let me know if you can hear me. All right, so we're in Gormley's pub in Rocky River, Ohio. It'll be a bit of a challenge, I think, to get the audio going. But yes, you can hear me fine. Okay, that's good. All right, good. Perfect. All right, so we're in busy Gormley's pub. I'm waiting for the arrival of Sean Gormley. I'm waiting on the arrival of Kevin O'Gorman. They're still having dinner after a busy day of visiting locations. But we are, we're good. You hear some background noise. I've got the pub behind me. I've got silent distillery bottles all over here, which I'm going to bring on and show you shortly. We're going to talk a little bit about Midleton Very Rare. Once Kevin gets here and Sean get here, we're going to interview them, talk about this event. If there's any challenge with the sound, let me know, and we'll do our best to fix the sound. But yeah, I think it sounds good. You're all very welcome. We're in the middle of the kickoff festivities for our Festival of Midleton Whiskeys. We will be spending the next 48 hours extolling the virtues of pot still whiskey from the Middleton Distillery and blended whiskies like Midleton Very Rare 2022. We've got 10 whiskies that we're going to be drinking over the next 48 hours, and it's all designed to raise vital funds for Malachy House, a end-of-life hospice care centre in Cleveland, Ohio. We raised $50,000 last year. We're trying to beat that this year. So let me know what you're drinking, where you are in the country. What are you sipping on? I'm sipping on this for the moment. It's a good start, right? And there'll be whiskey coming as well. We've got folks coming in from all over the United States to join our Festival of Midleton Whiskeys. Some of them are here tonight. Some of them will be arriving tomorrow. And over the next 48 hours, they get to try whiskies that have never been tasted in the United States, as well as some extremely, extremely rare whiskies. Last year, we filled this room I'm in right here downstairs in Gormley's pub for both nights of our Festival of Midleton Whiskeys. This year, we're taking it a little bit further afield. We're going to a country club locally, bigger venue, more space, more chance to enjoy the whiskies, and more chance to get more people in the door, which is important as well. Thanks, Dee. Says, hi guys, have a wonderful time. Thanks to you, Dee. Johnny's drinking Powers 3 Swallows and a pint. Cheryl's got eggnog with Slane. Very good. We've got a traditional Irish music band in the background. The bar is absolutely full. You can hear the crack behind me. There's 2 floors in the bar here in Gormley's pub. We're downstairs at the moment. And we're not going to be streaming all night here, but I'm waiting for Sean Gormley and Kevin O'Gorman to get here. We've been out all day meeting with different bar owners and bringing Kevin around to different venues in Cleveland so he gets a sense of the Midleton whiskies and where they're served. Talk to the bar owners, understand what people are looking for. He's met with the distributors, and now he's about to embark on 48 hours of hosting whiskey tastings here in Clifton Club. Amy said she's going to be pouring all things Midleton tonight. Method of Madness is a good start, all right. John's got Cliffs of Moher, PX, and Palo Cortado. Excellent. I haven't even opened my bottles of it yet, would you believe? Bob Hurley's drinking Gold Spot. Good stuff. And looking forward to opening the Cliffs of Moher. Cheryl has Method of Madness Cherry Bark. All right. I'm going to share some of the whiskies that we served last year. See them in the table over here. I'm going to show you some of the bottles, some of the boxes from last year. And then when Kevin O'Gorman gets here, I'll let him handle the Silent Distillery Chapter 2. But let me show you. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to give you a view of the bar. And I'm going to show you the whiskies that are on display in here tonight. And then we'll talk to our guests when they arrive here. All right, so let me share with you some of the whiskies. All right, that's not great angle, is it? All right, here we are. We're back. Chapter 3 this year, Chapter 2 last year. So we've all chapters here, Steve. Chapter 4 next year, Chapter 5 the following year, and Chapter 6 then on the final year, 2025. That's the goal. So there's really 3 floors to the bar. The bottom floor here where I'm on, there's a middle floor with the band, the Irish traditional music band. There's a bit of a session going on. And then the top floor is another bar upstairs. All roads seem to lead to Rocky River tonight. Perfect little pub, says Kristen. Yeah, great spot. Great spot here. I'll pick up some of these bottles and I'll talk about them. We were hoping to have everyone here for the kickoff at 7 o'clock. So we go live for about half an hour, but it's been a long day and people are... meetings have been running over and over and over for Kevin and the team, so they'll get here shortly. I think we'll have some more crack with them. So let me grab some of the Midleton Very Rare bottles. So this is one of the whiskies we'll be serving on night number 2, which is Midleton Very Rare Dar Gaelic Kylebeg Wood. So this is tree number 2, and Midleton Very Rare Dar Gaelic Kylebeg Wood is a Midleton Very Rare series. For those of you not familiar, it's a series of pot still whiskies, aged up to about 23, 24 years of age, and they spend their lives maturing in bourbon barrels before being transferred into virgin Irish oak casks for a finishing period. And each of the releases in the series can be traced back to the tree that was cut down, that was felled in order to make the barrels that were then filled with the pot still whiskey. So every single bottle of Kylebeg wood, which is the wood where the trees were felled, every single one of those bottles traces its way back to the individual tree. So if you have tree number 3, tree number 4, tree number 5, you can compare the taste of all. So same liquid going into each of the virgin casks, virgin Irish oak casks, and they impart their flavors. Those casks impart their flavors. But the idea being that each of those casks comes from different trees. Therefore, there should be slight differences based on where the tree was located in the forest. So kind of terroir for the forest and the individual flavors coming through from that particular patch of land where that tree grew. Maybe the tree got more light, maybe the tree got more water, maybe the tree was had enough space to grow, which will be different to the next tree as well. So we're tasting Midleton Very Rare Dar Gaelic, which is Irish for Irish oak. Dar is oak, Gaelic, Irish. So anytime you see the word Dar or Derry, for example, the city of Derry is named as the city of oak. Oak, Derry, Dar. Steve wants to know if he should pour tree number 1. Steve, be our guest. Be our guest. Be lovely. Okay, so Dar Gaelic is one of our whiskies for night number 2. We've also got Midleton Very Rare 2022. So Kevin O'Gorman's own whiskey. He's been signing whiskey since 2021. Kevin O'Gorman, the master distiller, his signatures in every single bottle of Midleton Very Rare since 2021. We'll be serving his 2022 release on night number 2 as well of our Festival of Midleton Whiskeys. I'll grab that. We can talk about Midleton Very Rare. Okay, so only got the empty boxes here. The bottles are behind the bar. I can grab them in a second. But Midleton Very Rare is a collection of releases, an annual vintage released every year from the Middleton Distillery since 1984. And it's a blended product. It's a blend of single pot still whiskies and single grain whiskies, aged typically from about 13 to up to 36, 37 years of age. And it's a representation of the best whiskies that are in the distillery at the time. Every master distiller since 1984, since Barry Crockett launched the series, has released their own version, 1984, 85, 86, 87, until the present day. So when Kevin O'Gorman pours his Midleton Very Rare 2022 at our Festival of Whiskies, he'll be sharing the story of how he chose the component whiskies that go into Midleton Very Rare 2022. What sets his whiskies apart from the previous distiller, Brian Nation, and what characteristics and flavour profiles does Kevin look for as opposed to what Brian Nation look for. So we actually have some sense that already, because we know that 2021, 2022 whiskies are more floral, more orchard, kind of light orchard, elegant fruit notes coming through on the whiskies compared to previous vintages, which would have been a little bit more spice forward, a little bit more pot still forward. So Kevin has gone for a grain forward approach. Brian Nation went for a pot still forward approach. But each whiskey is insanely different to the previous vintage, because no two batches of whiskey can ever be the same. So we have a different batch released every single year. And I think a lot of you have tasted Midleton Very Rare, but it's both a collector's item. People try and collect the whole series, 1984 to the present day. Or, as everyone should do, people buy it and they drink it. Celebrate a special occasion, wedding, anniversary, birthday, birth, etc. James asks, the distillery character being a victim of casting. I'm not sure I understand that question, James, but reword that there for me, and I'll be able to hopefully give you an answer on that, and maybe Kevin O'Gorman can as well once he joins us. All right, so Midleton Very Rare 2022. We also have over here last year's Silent Distillery, which I'll grab. Now, there's a small little drop left in it. This is last year's Silent Distillery. This is chapter number 2. This is the finished in the last part of its maturation in port casks. So this is a 46-year-old whiskey, and there's a small drop left in it, as you can see. The last drop, still there since last year, and Sean Gormley's keeping that. And each of the decanters is hand cut from Waterford Crystal. And this was full last year, but we emptied it for our Festival of Midleton Whiskeys in aid of Malachy House, the end-of-life hospice charity in Cleveland. Last year, only 70 odd bottles of this were available globally. This year, 97 bottles of chapter number 3, 96 after Tuesday. The first bottle that was released, 48 bottles were released in Silent Distillery chapter number 1, and they form part of a collection. So 3 releases have been made from this collection, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, which marks the halfway point in the series. It goes all the way to chapter 6. So we're at chapter 3 now, 4, 5, and 6 left to go, 1 per year until you get to 2025, when the oldest release will ever, and the last of the stock from the old Middleton Distillery will be released. So a Silent Distillery is a distillery that no longer makes whiskey. The stills are decommissioned. The whiskey's there's no longer whiskey being made there. And so in 2025, that'll be it. So if you ever find old whiskey from the old Midleton Distillery, that's a bit of a time capsule. It's not being made anymore. All production moved to a new facility in 1975. So what we're tasting on Tuesday night is a 47-year-old whiskey, which was a combination of 2 different casks that were batted together, and what was left gave 97 bottles. A mixture of a bourbon barrel and a sherry cask were batted together for Silent Distillery Chapter 3. Steve says Kyle Bake 3-1 is just lovely. Yeah, it's an extraordinary series, the Dark Gaelic series, and every year approximately a new Dargaelic series is released with a collaboration with a different forest. So it's a 10-15 year planning cycle to figure out which trees from which forests, the process of felling the tree, sending it to Galicia and Spain, where it is quarter sawn, where it is dried out for 2 years in the sun, where it's shaped into the wooden barrels. So it's virgin oak. Irish oak is shaped into the barrels, where it's seasoned in Galicia and then sent back to Ireland to be filled with the pot still whiskey, where it spends about 6 months to a year inside those virgin oak casks. So they are a unique series. Okay, so still waiting on our guests. They're due here any moment. We'll check on their ETA. Okay, they're on their way. They should be here in the next 5 minutes. They'll be entertaining you all night. All right, so let me share 2 other things with you here. So this is the little miniature that comes with each of the silent distilleries. So if you purchase the silent distillery collection, chapter 1, 2, or chapter 2 or 3, chapter 1 didn't have one. You get a little miniature version of the silent distillery as well. So if you wanted to open that and drink it and keep your larger bottle, the option there is yours. They didn't do it for chapter number 1, but I think there was such demand from people who said, I don't want to open my full bottle, but I want to taste what I bought. Chapter 2 and chapter 3 have contained this extra little piece here. Amy's loving the location change. It's very different. We don't have great lighting here now, admittedly, but what can we do? We're on location. We didn't bring all the lighting equipment with us to Cleveland. Sounds like you can hear the music. For those of you who have already purchased, by the way, Cliffs of Moher whiskey and have tried it, I'd love to get your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. I haven't opened my Cliffs of Moher whiskey yet, but I will as soon as I get back. Cheryl says that's a nice feature. So Sean Gormley has now 2 of these, one from last year, one from this year, which he has yet to decide what to do with. Will he drink them? Will they be for a special occasion? Will they be raffled off? Will they stay behind the bar as a souvenir of these great events that we're hosting here? It's a good question. Maybe Sean will tell us what he'll do with them when he gets here. Or he might not want to. They come with a little case. So this case sits on top. We didn't prepare anything this week in terms of whiskey releases that have happened in Ireland this week, and I don't know that we've had whiskey releases actually over the past week that we could mention. Nothing came across my desk. I've been busy with travel to get here to Ohio, but I don't think we have anything that has been shared in the past week, to the best of my knowledge. I'm going to move my camera slightly to get better angle on the light here. Small bit brighter, small bit. You can hear the music in the background. Greg has not opened his Cliffs of Moher bottles yet, and Tom is waiting on the 12th. Yes, so on the 12th of December, we have a tasting with Louise McGuan, founder of JJ Corrie Irish Whiskey, and Louise is going to walk us through all 3 expressions of the Cliffs of Moher whiskey. We will be tasting the Palo Cortado single malt, the Pedro Jimenez single malt, and the Oloroso cask hot still whiskey. And that is on December 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to join, you will be getting a link to register for our Zoom in the next few days. And that's going to be a great event, a chance for us to taste all our bottles together. And then pretty shortly after that, probably before Christmas, we'll be able to announce our next bottling and the timing on the next bottling, so that you have all the information on our next venture. We're going on an adventure to the north of Ireland for our next whiskey. Maybe even our next 2 whiskies might be in the north of Ireland. Hint, hint. Who can tell? Who can tell? So our tasting's on the 12th of December. We also have available on our website on storiesandslips.com from last week. We had a great chat with the founder of the Dead Rabbit, Jack McGarry, and the director of Irish Whiskey, Mark McLaughlin, who shared with us the story of the brand's expansion and the Dead Rabbit moving to Austin and New Orleans in the next few months and opening locations there. And they shared with us their Irish whiskey program and their plans for introducing more Irish whiskies to America through the Dead Rabbit. That replay of our chat is available on storiesandslips.com if you want to check it out. It was a great chat, very vulnerable chat, I think, from Jack, sharing the highs and lows of running a bar like the Dead Rabbit, and the last 10 years has been a roller coaster of a ride for the team there. So it was really good to hear firsthand what it took to build that pub and some of the challenges in building it and in growing the locations, and what led to the split between the founders and what direction they both decided to go in. So a really great chat. I recommend you check it out on storiesandslips.com. Chris themselves an amazing call. Yeah, it was great. They did a great job sharing with us just what it takes, really. Chris is opening his Cliff's bottles this week. Great friends coming over. Fantastic. That's what whiskey's for. Whiskey's for sharing, and I hate drinking whiskey alone. At least even if I've got somebody virtually to share a whiskey with, it's always better. So I'm delighted to hear you're sharing the Cliff's more whiskey with somebody. That's the way to do it. It's absolutely the way to do it. John is taking a scouting trip to the Dead Rabbit tomorrow. Good man. We will be there. If you listen to the call, if you listen to the replay, we're going to be there on February 6th for a Stories and Sips event. We're going to be hosting a very special tasting event. We can't finalize the brands yet. We might have hinted at them on our call. If you watch it, you'll see. But they're not all fully finalized. But it's going to be very old, very rare, and really a great, great night of tasting whiskies that are very, very hard to find. And we're going to do that at the Dead Rabbit to celebrate their 10th anniversary. So they asked us if we would host a whiskey event to celebrate their 10 years of being in business. And there's no way you can say no. No way at all. Amy really loved the Meet the Maker. Yeah, it was one of the good ones, wasn't it? I mean, they're all good, but I just love when people go deep and get kind of vulnerable about the challenges. It's not all plain sailing, you know, building a whiskey brand, opening a pub, building a pub. Steve wants to know, how's the Guinness? Depends on the pub. No different to Ireland. Gormley's has a good pint. Others don't have great pints. Dead Rabbit has great pints. Where were we tonight? Oh yeah, Flannery's pub in Cleveland, great pints of Guinness. So venue by venue it changes, so it depends on where you are and how they've stored the kegs and the length of the lines and the bacteria, the good bacteria in the lines. But I suppose overall the pubs, the Guinness in the US wouldn't be to the standard of Ireland, you know, and that's the closer you get to the River Liffey in Dublin, isn't that the story? Martin's waiting to open his Cliff's bottles. He doesn't get off work until 5 p.m. California time. The challenges of the different time zones, all right, Martin. But hopefully you can catch the replay, so we'll have a replay available. I'm sure we might still be going by 5 p.m. 5 p.m. California time. We'll only be an hour out. We'll probably still be going, so you should be able to catch us. How do you find the Guinness in Ireland, everybody, versus the Guinness in the United States? I'm sure you've had experiences of good Guinness.
Wait, hold on. For the greatest.
Here we go. Here comes Kevin O'Gorman.
Midleton Irish Whiskey, North Ireland. The one and only Kevin O'Gorman. There he is, the man himself.
How are you getting on? You made it. All right. You're cheered in. Get the red carpet.
They said, Middleton what? Where? Who?
Spring Free Middleton.
With old Amy did shit.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. It's not often you see a setup like this. Wow. Super. Great, isn't it? Yeah, really great. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yep. Where's the camera?
Just up there on the left. On the left there, yeah.
Okay. Once we get Kevin a drink in his hand, we'll chat to him about Midleton Very Rare. We're getting about Midleton Very Rare 2022, and then we'll chat. Kevin gets screamed into the pub. I think they all thought there was free whiskey coming. We're live here now. How are you?
Oh, you lads?
You can sit down there if you want.
No, grab
Are you getting a pint?
it.
Folks, as you can tell, there's not a whole lot of rehearsals into this. Right, we've got our Irish whiskey fans here. Shane Moore, Irish whiskey fan, is here. He'll be grabbing a drink. How are you? Sláinte. Cheers, Sláinte. We're getting Kevin a pint, get Kevin a drink, a glass of whiskey, and he'll be over. We'll angle the camera a bit here. Kevin's hand will fall off from shaking people's hands now tonight, I'd say, as he gets introduced to long-lost relatives and fans of Jameson and Redbreast and Spots and the Midleton Very Rares. But he'll get a drop of Midleton Very Rare in his hand there now. We'll come over. Get your man a porter, says James. He needs a porter. We'll have a stool for you here.
What's that?
You'll have to sit down there. We'll have a chat.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right.
The pint will be here any minute.
Shane Moore, everybody. Shane Moore,
How are you, lads and lassies?
Irish whiskey fan extraordinaire. A big Midleton man.
Big Irish whiskey man, except for proper 12.
All right, listen. We love all whiskey.
We do. Joking.
This is your local, almost.
Well, one of them, yeah. I live about maybe 20 minutes from here. So walked in here, Jesus, 5 years ago for a pint. And I mean a pint. That was at 7 o'clock in the evening, and Sean poured me into a taxi at 10 to 4 in the morning and sent me home. And the rest is history.
Now, was that the fault of the pub or the visitor?
I'd say it was probably the ghosts of whiskey past.
I thought you were going to say the demons. It's just the demons within.
Yeah, probably, yeah. No, great spot, though. Been here many a time. Come here for the rugby games, football games.
Great pint of Guinness.
A very good pint of Guinness. And an Irish whiskey collection that has come an awful long way from where it was a few years ago.
That's right.
Probably one of the best now in the state of Ohio. And for those of you that have never been here, highly recommend you come in and check out Sean's new cabinet of some very unique, very interesting Irish whiskies that he's been able to procure over the last period of time.
Shane has helped Sean build his collection here.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
And we might be able to, the Irish traditional music band is up there at the moment, but just above their heads, we might get a shot of it later. Our Redbreast Dream casks, old Jameson 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Jameson single pots. I brought him a bottle of single pot still over. That's not in there yet.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, the new one, the new release.
He's got
Yeah.
single cask Redbreast maybe in there, does he? Or
He has a Redbreast. He does have one Redbreast single cask,
yeah.
and he's got a couple down in the old basement.
What's your whiskey drop of choice? If you're offered a whiskey, you're in a bar, somebody says, right, what do you have?
I'm very loyal to the Redbreast brand. I just think Redbreast is a spectacular collection of Irish whiskey, unsurpassed. Yes, you've got the Middletons, you've got the Spots, but I just think Redbreast as a brand. As a matter of fact, if I ever get asked by anybody over here in the States, what Irish whiskey should I buy for somebody? I want to get a gift I don't want to break the bank. You can't go wrong with Redbreast 12. It's just a spectacular offering. And so Redbreast as a whole would be my take to a desert island whiskey.
And we had a couple of Redbreasts this afternoon. Kevin and myself had one. You had a pint for lunch.
Yeah, I had a little green. Believe it or not, I had my first green spot today in about 2 years.
Yeah.
I forget it exists sometimes. You get so spoilt with some of the yellows and the reds and now the golds and the blues that you forget green exists. So I rolled the clock back and had some this evening.
With chicken tenders and Redbreast 12-year-olds. Very high.
Chicken tenders.
The highs and lows of dining out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Chicken tenders and barbecue sauce and Redbreast 12.
I'm looking at some of the comments here and they're hilarious. Some of them definitely need censors. They're very funny.
We'll have to kick half them out.
I know.
I was showing some of the bottles from last year. So you were here last year.
Yeah.
You see there's a small drop left in the 46-year-old chapter 2.
I'll tell you what.
Not for long.
That was unbelievable, that. I know.
Took place right here where we are. That's where we stood, right there.
Yeah. The TV right over here behind us. Kevin and Catherine. No, Kevin and Deirdre.
Kevin O'Gorman and Deirdre O'Carroll.
Yeah. From the blenders from Middleton were on there.
They came in via Zoom.
Amazing night. It was amazing night for so many reasons. Yeah, you got the whole Irish whiskey community, but the fact that a significant portion was raised for a local charity, the Malachy House, is very special. I think everybody walked away feeling like they had an amazing night, but they did something really special and really important for a local charity. And anytime you can support any type of a charity, it makes you feel good about what you're doing.
$50,000 raised last year.
And that is a serious amount of money.
A lot of money.
And a lot of people benefited from that. And we'll do it again this year. And long may it last.
I agree. We're trying to beat that number. We think we're going to this year. There's been some very generous donors in addition to our attendees. And we have a raffle with unbelievable prizes in person tomorrow night. Cleveland Browns have given some unbelievable gift boxes and bags. Cleveland Cavaliers, we've got some signed bottles by Kevin. So we're going to raffle all those up to raise even more money for Malachy House. So, like you said, you combine whiskey with fundraising, there's more smiles than you'd ever see.
And rumor on the street has it we might be finding ourselves back here at Gormley's late tomorrow evening and possibly late on Wednesday evening. So, of course, if you happen to find yourself in the neighborhood, stop in for a pint and a whiskey with us.
That's it. Even tonight.
Yeah. And with that, I'm going to scoot over here and get my pint.
Right, get your pint and then
cheers.
Kevin at some point.
We'll see us all later.
Oh, you're escaping, are you?
I'll give Kevin a nod and I'll tell him to come over.
His time is whenever he's ready.
I'll grab him for you.
You don't want to rush the man.
See you, lads.
All right, thanks, Shane. Okay, so we'll try and have a chat with Kevin. I'll move over here. You got a drink. You were carried in on a carpet into the bar. They screamed you in.
Fantastic, yeah. It's
Isn't
lovely.
that great?
Brilliant.
You got yourself a Middleton?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Sean was great, yeah. He poured me a Midleton 22, so
Happy days.
happy days.
I wonder, so we've got folks here now tuning in who can't make it live in person tomorrow. So they're here tonight instead virtually. And I was telling them about signature being on every bottle. I told them the story, the history of the brand, Middleton very rare. I wonder could you share, Kevin, your thought process that went into how you selected the 2022 release specifically?
Yeah, and I suppose coincidentally, I'm very near the end of my Middleton Rare 23 at the moment.
Okay.
So we're at prototype stage.
Okay, right.
So we're down to about 5 prototypes.
Okay.
So hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So I'm a week in America, then I
Right.
get back for a week. So before Christmas, that will be all ready. Yeah.
Do
And
you want to tell us tonight what it is, Kevin? Go on, tell
no,
us the makeup.
you'd love that story.
I
right?
would love that story.
You'd love that story. But no, we're very close. But I suppose the point is, going back to last year,
Yeah.
had the selection finished by probably end of November, early December last year.
Okay.
And, as people out there know, Middleton is it's a selection of grain whiskey and pot whiskey. It's a blend. And every year I get a chance. I suppose it's a huge honour and privilege to look at the best whiskies that we have in Middleton, grain whiskies and pot whiskies, and I can pick. I can go through these different casks, different types of whiskies, and put them all together in this Middleton Rare blend. So it's great. I mean, you have your grain whiskey, you have different styles of pot whiskey, because in Middleton, as you know, we have different styles of pot as well. So I can change that around. So I change a number of variables every year. First of all is the age. Okay, what age range? So for example, last year 22 was like between 12 and 33 years. That was the range of ages. So some very old whiskies. Then I can change the ratio of grain to pot. So how much grain, how much pot. I can change then. The third one is the different ratios of pot whiskey, be it lighter style, medium style, heavier style. And then the next one is the ratio of what we call first fill American barrels, which is the barrels we use our first time, as opposed to refill American barrels, which again changes the wood contribution to the whiskey. So I have these variables that I can change around every year, and that's what makes Middleton Very Rare and vintage every year to make a difference.
Every year different.
So hopefully that makes
that's
sense.
great. That's great. Amy says she can't wait for 2023. One for her to celebrate turning 50 next year, and one for her stepdaughter when she gets married. Oh, very good.
Excellent.
Very good. Are the ratios known to the public, or just a delightful secret for Kevin? Kristen wants to know.
Not really. I might give general information, but I suppose in terms of the specific blends and the percentages, I'm going to keep that to myself, Okay. But I give general information.
You don't publish it, but
no.
You might talk about it occasionally.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is your first time in Ohio. Your first time hosting a tasting as Master Distiller in America.
Correct. That is correct.
And we're very lucky, very privileged to have you here. And what a high-profile event we now get, because you're here in the state. You were very moved by the fundraising that took place last year, and I think maybe part of your decision to come here this year was, can I help raise more money? What are you looking forward to over the next 2 days? We've got 2 nights of tastings, 10 amazing whiskies from 7 years old all the way up to 47 years of age.
Absolutely.
A lot to be done over the next 2 days.
I suppose last year, if you look back, we had an online event last year, as you mentioned. And Deirdre, Carol, and myself were back in Middleton. And everybody was here.
We were watching on TV up there.
That's right. Yeah. And I got a great sense of, I suppose, the level of enthusiasm, and there was an energy that night that we picked up back in Middleton. To be honest, even though we're 3,500-4,000 miles away. And I said, wow, I remember that night saying that maybe next year I'd love to be there. And you know what? No, we've made it happen.
We never forget promises like that.
No. And then I met you back in Dingle, in County Kerry, back in May.
That's right.
We had a tasting event.
That's right.
And then we spoke about it that night. Yeah. And I think we made a commitment.
Over pints.
We made a few drinks. We had lots of whiskies, and I think we made a commitment that night that we'd make this happen. Yeah. But the most important thing for me, on a personal level, is that this is such a good cause for charity, for Malachy House, and I'm delighted to be here. Really am. And like you're saying, it's a privilege and an honor for you to have me here. To be honest, I'd reverse that. It's a privilege and honor for me to be here. And the welcome I got here tonight, it's a real Irish welcome.
It is, yeah.
It's fantastic.
And I guarantee if you went around the bar, there'd be fellas who say they're probably related to you. They come from the same town as you, or their ancestors.
I just met a cousin up there, actually.
You met a cousin?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Bring them on.
But no, it's a. And what do I mean? I think just for people to enjoy it. Yeah. It's for charity, so that's the most important thing we keep in the back of our heads. But really, I suppose for people as well to maybe learn about Irish whiskey, to learn about Middleton and all the whiskies we have. Yeah. And you know what? It's about enjoyment. Yes. And just enjoying our whiskey. That's what it's all about.
That's all it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're very lucky to be able to do it and to have access to the whiskey and to yourself, which is amazing. Yeah. Sean Gormley's been busy hosting as well and charming the crowd, and he's very excited by the event. We'll talk to him in a minute.
And I think it's my first time here.
Yeah.
And
You only walked in the door.
it's really an Irish pub. I have to say, it's just the atmosphere here. It just reminds me of a pub back home.
Yeah.
Be it in Mitchelstown or in Middleton or in Cork.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. It's fantastic. Great atmosphere. And we have a full selection of Middleton.
We do. I showed them on camera earlier, all the Middletons.
Yeah. So it's really good. Really good.
You'll be opening the 47-year-old on Tuesday. You'll be pouring it. I'm
Really?
not pouring it.
Okay.
Listen, I have to defer to the seniority
Okay.
and status, which is yours.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure.
Because you bottled it.
Oh,
You get back out.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have white gloves, got the silk gloves, all ready to go.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
It'll be brilliant.
It'll be brilliant. We're not going to take up more of your time. We're excited for the event. We're going to have some great whiskies and great company. We're going to raise a glass to each other and to our health and raise a bit of money in the process.
That's the most
Maybe come back and do it
important
again next year.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
try anyway. We'll try and do something next year, of course.
Yeah.
Already conversations about wouldn't it be great if next year or the year after we could do more of the same.
Yeah.
We won't commit to anything, of course, but
Yeah.
it's great.
And I suppose the most important thing is, we think about next year, maybe we can make it bigger and
Yes.
even better next year.
Bring more
and
people
maybe
in.
raise more money for Malachy House. And wouldn't that be fantastic?
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
Amazing. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Kevin, thanks a million for saying hello. We're going to let Kevin have a drink. It helps with the jet lag.
Absolutely. Jet lag, what's that?
Do you feel the jet lag after your flight?
No, not at the moment anyway.
Come back to you in an hour.
A Middleton Rare 22 sorts all that out. Yeah.
Any hints on 2023 that you'd like to share? Like any direction you've gone in particularly?
No, the prototypes are really good. I'm probably edging towards one particular prototype. Need to get back next weekend and take it home and really probably assess it.
Right.
But it's really interesting. Won't reveal any
I love
more.
how you're saying nothing. This is brilliant.
Yeah,
Like,
I suppose. Look,
won't stop
I haven't actually made the selection yet, so I prefer maybe to hold back on
course,
that. But look, we've a lot coming next year. There's a lot happening in Middleton. It's very exciting.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great year next year. I can't wait.
First 6 months of next year,
It's
lots
busy.
going on.
There's lots going on.
There's lots going on. Stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned.
There's lots happening.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab Sean Gormley. I'm going to let you get back to your Middleton.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you
Will
go.
I grab Sean for you?
Yeah, would you mind?
Yeah. Okay.
Kevin,
See everybody.
say goodbye to Kevin, and hopefully you can all make it here next year. Thanks a million, Kevin.
Sean.
Appreciate it. Cheers. We're going to talk to Sean Gormley, the owner of Gormley's Pub, and the man who took the risk on purchasing the bottles of Silent Distillery last year and this year. And if we have any questions for Sean, we can ask them. Sean's joining us now. He's excited about it. He's running up to the camera. Hey!
Hey, everybody!
Oh, Sean, how are you?
Sláinte.
I haven't seen you in about 8 minutes.
Yes. And we actually do have the best Guinness in the state of Ohio. To answer that guy's question earlier.
The best Guinness in a 3-block radius. No. The best Guinness in Ohio. That's high praise. You sell more Guinness here than any other account in Ohio.
Yeah, we do sell Guinness products, and what I really like to pride myself on here is when you walk into here, I have as much Guinness products on tap as possible between the cider, the Smithwick's, the Harp, and even here in the U.S. we have the Guinness Blonde and all those. I pride myself on having a really strong tap system, and especially the Guinness. We do sell the actual most Guinness. For being a small pub as we are,
It's amazing.
Our volume throughout the state is, and some months I don't believe it, but we actually do.
What makes a good Guinness here? I mean, we know in Ireland, length of the lines, how often they're cleaned, temperature of the cold room. What's it here?
It's absolutely the same idea, and the more you sell, there's less in the line to contaminate. and to give that aluminum taste, or we say aluminium taste. So it's absolutely the same narrative. It's no different than home. We don't do anything different from home than we do here.
Okay. You were introduced to Irish whiskey a few years ago by Shane Moore,
Yes.
and you listened with intent and interest and curiosity as Shane shared stories and history of Irish whiskey. You bought into it, and you started buying up whiskey.
Yes.
And Shane, 2 years ago, the distributor for all of the Irish Distillers products in Ohio came to me and they said, Barry, we have a bottle of Silent Distillery allocated to the state of Ohio. Can you find a buyer? I said, I could find a buyer, I'm sure. Wouldn't it be better if we opened it up and drank it? They said, well, how do you envisage that? And I said, we'll do an event. People can buy tickets, they can taste it. Anyway, Shane came to me and he said, you know the man who's going to buy that bottle and where you need to host it? It's Gormley's pub.
And I do remember that, and I remember being downtown Cleveland and getting the phone call, and the first time he said, I just need a minute, I just need you to hear me out. We were sitting at the Chop House downtown Cleveland for dinner.
Yeah.
And I got off the phone. I'm like, wow. First thing, what an opportunity, and whatever it is I got to do to make this work. I love the idea, and so honored to be chosen. And I'm an old school, I'm a traditionalist. I really feel that things happen for a reason, and I think that I was chosen for this. And here we are, and to grow the brand and to go what it is. And I'm still learning every day about Irish whiskey. I'm thankful for between Shane and yourself and Kevin and everybody that I'm always going to be learning, and that's what's great about it, the excitement of it, and just everything that goes about it, and especially the stories.
What was it like? So you've been learning and hearing about the stories. We've done some tastings here in the past 2 years. We had last year's event, which was virtual and in person.
Right here, yeah.
Right in this spot.
Yep.
What was it like opening that door to the bar 10 minutes ago and introducing the master distiller from Midleton Distillery into your pub?
So I got him out of the car, and I said, I just got him outside the door, and I said, Kevin, I just want to let you know how much of an absolute honor this is from this little pub that I just started up almost 6 years ago, to have a man such as yourself, of such high regard on the wonderful world of Irish whiskey, to be walking into this door. And I had a special sign made inside the door. And I'm just like, I just want to say thank you, and I'm honored that you're here, to share in this event, not only for a great cause, but just for the great experience of promoting wonderful, beautiful Irish whiskey that we're all going to get to enjoy over the next couple of days. So excited.
Cheers to that.
I can't, again, launch her up.
Honestly, what a night. Kicking off 2 days. I mean, it's all ahead. We're going to have some fun. We're going to raise some money.
Oh,
We're going to raise a lot of money.
and if anybody wants to just to donate, reach out to Gormley's Pub. You don't have to be here, but if it's $5, $10, it just doesn't matter. Reach here at Gormley's Pub. Reach me individually. Every absolute penny will go to Malachi House. Every penny.
We've already had conversations about next year trying to open up even more, maybe put it on a weekend, maybe make it even bigger and better, do some more events. So stay tuned, because this man here wants to, he doesn't think small, this fella.
I'm trying not to, because it's not about us. It's not about Gormley's Pub. It's about Middleton, and it's about the awareness of Irish whiskey. And not only important, it's about raising money for a wonderful charity here in Cleveland of the Great Malachi House, and anybody else that wants to be involved and to participate. We're here for you, and we want to do the best for everybody.
We don't have raffle tickets available online, sadly. The raffle for the seats is already over. The raffle tomorrow night is all in person. So it'll be tough for people maybe virtually, unless they call the pub. And
I could give my phone number if they want to do it over my phone. Whatever it is we want to do, anybody that's local or think they can get here for Tuesday night, I'll give you my personal phone number. We could do raffle, we could do whatever, and we could do.
You can message me, folks, and I'll get the details to Sean.
Whatever
Send your phone number
works.
if you want to donate anything. But we're going to raise a lot of money for Malachi House. Very exciting. We're going to celebrate Midleton Whiskeys. We're going to celebrate Kevin O'Gorman being in the state of Ohio. His first American tasting as master distiller. We're going to get, a lot of you saw this bottle being delivered by police escort to the pub. That story went around the world. It went into Newsweek, it went into the Sunday World, it went into Cork Bio, it went into Forbes. It's gone around the world, the story of this amazing bottle coming to Sean's pub. And what does that do for Irish whiskey? It tells more people about this incredible liquid, the level to which Irish whiskey can reach. Not everyone needs to be able to afford a $46,000 bottle of whiskey to appreciate that Ireland is capable of making such liquid. And that's a good thing for Ireland. It's a good thing for Irish whiskey. And hopefully it's good for Sean and Gormley's pub too. And it'll be great for Malachy House, most importantly.
And we just can't thank everybody enough for everything they've done from Southern Glacier to Middleton and to absolutely the only one, Mr. Kevin, to Barry Chandler, and the Stories and Sips, and to every one of you out there that has signed on as to be a part of this, and that has either donated or has come to all the events. I mean, thank you one and all. That's what makes it special. It's not about us individually. It's about collectively everybody doing the right thing and coming together to enjoy a great cause and enjoy great Irish whiskey. And that's really what it's all about. And I personally can't thank you enough.
And the charity that, oh, what's this?
It's an empty glass.
Oh, this is an amazing service.
This is a wee Sinead. This is Sinead
Say hi,
from Derry.
Sinead. Hey, Sinead comes with her with gifts. She doesn't come empty-handed.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Sinead. Malachy House. Sean, do you want to tell people about the charity? Because it's an important one.
It is. It's based in downtown Cleveland, and it's a house where they take care of people that's either end of life or that have nowhere else to go, or as far as any disabilities or anything else that they have going on in their life. And it's an organization that is not state funded. Every penny that they use is privately raised. Look at that pint.
Not quite splitting the G, but that's a great pint. Look at the cream in it.
Yeah,
that's a great pint.
Yeah, it is. I'm very proud of our pints here. And so there's zero state funding. Everything is donation based, and we just have so many great groups, and they're just such a worthy cause. And so, like anything donated, you could even just call Malachy House and say we're calling on behalf of Gormley's Pub, and we want to donate $50. Whatever it is, or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whatever it is that you have, every penny counts.
We'll put the website in the comments.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. So
MalachyHouse.org.
And we're just so happy to be a part of it. And the director Judy Hilo is going to be here tomorrow and Tuesday. We're actually bringing Kevin specifically there tomorrow. He wanted to go down and do a personal tour and really see what this is all about. And it's really personal to him. And that just means a lot to me that he wants to take time and really see where the money's going and where it's going to firsthand. So I really commend him for that. And we're so happy to be a part of it. And I'm sure Middleton is too.
So, folks, it's a very short broadcast tonight. Sorry we don't have more information to share, but I wanted to not miss a Sunday night. We started our Shebeens about a month ago. We've done one every night for the past 5 weeks. I'm privileged that the first guests we have on the Shebeen are Kevin O'Gorman and Sean Gormley and Shane Moore right here in Gormley's Pub for our first ever in-person Shebeen to kick off the Festival of Midleton Whiskeys. I would love to see you here next year, and hopefully we can make that happen by making great dates, accessible options for you to join us so we can raise more money for Malachy House. Using whiskey to help address some of the challenges in our world seems like a win-win all around.
I love it, and I'm so honored to be a great part of it. So,
Sláinte, folks. Thank you so much for joining our very short Shebeen this week. And cheers, Sean, for putting this on.
I love it.
Great 2 days ahead. Woo! Right. Sláinte, everybody. We leave it at that.